Welcome to our Because of You half-hour special. I'm Gwen Tolbart. Throughout this special, I'll be sharing stories from around the DMV and how lives were changed by others. Plus, I'll share some updates from those we highlighted. Up first, the story of two special women whose lives were impacted by each other. Montreal native Wanda Kagan found success in life because of her best friend in high school. Little did she know that same best friend followed a career path because of Wanda, and her success led her right here to the White House.
When it was announced on November 7th, I was so excited. I was jumping around. My daughter was here. I was hugging.
They bonded at Westmount High School in Montreal, Canada.
We were in a dance troupe called Midnight Magic. We did everything together. We did the variety show, we did the fashion show, and the pep rallies. We just really became very good close friends.
Now, there was a very big turning point in your life where her and her mother really stepped up and her family stepped up for you.
I was going through a very abusive and sexually abusive and physically abusive situation at home. She knew something was wrong, and I told her.
When I was in high school, I had a best friend who I learned was being molested by her father. And so I said to her as soon as she told me, well, you have to come stay with us.
I went to stay with her and her mom and her sister. And her mom helped navigate me through different things of the system. It was a lot of memories because she was very studious and she had a very studious, structured environment. If I didn't have those studying habits that were instilled early on with her and being part of her family, like she let me believe I was able to go to university. That faith of believing that she instilled in me.
After graduation, they lost touch when Kamala left for Howard University. They reconnected in 2005 when Wanda saw her on Oprah and reached out.
One of my girlfriends calls me up and she's like, Wanda, Kamala's on Oprah. She's like, hi, it's me, Kamala. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, I didn't think you'd call back. She goes, well, you're not just anyone. And then we just picked up, like time stood still. I know she impacted my life, that I may not be where I am today had it not been for her intervention back then. But to hear that I impacted her life too was really, really special.
And a big part of the reason I wanted to be a prosecutor was to protect people like her. And in fact, the vast majority of my career as a prosecutor was about protecting women and children.
She's a trailblazer. She's a fighter. She fights for what she believes in. Anyone can make history, but only a great woman can write history. And that's what Kamala Harris is going to do, write history.
Well, since our story, Wanda celebrated her daughter's graduation with a master's in social work, and they'll celebrate soon with a mother-daughter trip to D.C. to visit her friend, Vice President Kamala Harris. And now get ready to hear a life-changing story of a young man from Frederick, Maryland. Growing up, Monty Williams had no positive role models in his life, so he took to the streets. At 17, he was doing time. But his life took a positive turn, and now he's giving his time to youth guidance programs like this one, I Believe in Me, because someone believed in him.
My first encounter with Monty, I was working at a youth for offender program at the Frederick County Adult Detention Center. And the moment I laid eyes on him, the smile, the life that existed inside of that smile told me that something in this kid may be dying, but is ready to live.
And what does Ajay mean to Monty?
Yeah, that's my brother. Like, as soon as I met him, I knew, like, this guy's gonna help me go so far in life. And he basically laid out the blueprint, and at that point, it was all up to me to do what needed to be done to get to the next step. One of the biggest things was definitely getting my high school diploma, having a roof over my head when I came home, obtaining the job and being able to keep a job. I wanted to give back to the community.
Having served 8 years, Ajay can relate to Monty.
My mom had 3 heart attacks when I was in prison. Almost took my life away from me. So today, I'm able to wake up in the morning and my mom is proud of me because of being a member of the community rather than a menace.
Stop putting these in your folders and put them back.
What do the kids think of Monty?
The kids think Monty is a leader. Some even think he's a hero. Not because of what he said, because of what he does. He consistently shows up in this building in the lives of these children.
Just being able to help the kids, it just keeps me grounded. It keeps me motivated every single day to not go back to what I used to do or what I once did in my life.
He's training to be a firefighter. And how was his growth?
His growth has been great. I think also outside of the firehouse, him becoming a father and a family man has helped get him on a right track, and also his dedication to the community has helped his growth within the fire service.
Using his training, last summer, Monty jumped into a pool, saving a teen from drowning.
Once I got her out of the water, after I went in and got her, she wasn't breathing, and I knew she was gonna flatline. So I started CPR. Once I did that, I did CPR for about 5 or 6 chest compressions, and she started coughing again, so I knew I got her airway back open.
So he used his example. Did y'all see what he did?
Good job!
Our mission is to inspire and challenge youth through mental, physical, and social activities, fostering respect for themselves and the world around them. Monty is definitely an example of that.
The future is definitely bright for me, and this isn't the end. This is just the beginning of my story.
And here's an update to share. In April, Monty received the EMS Medal of Valor from the Frederick County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association for saving that teen from drowning. And he's still mentoring and studying to be a firefighter. Now I'll share the story of Scott Shepard, a Mississippi native, and how a local Maryland man helped him cross a crucial divide. His low self-esteem as a teen led Scott Shepard seeking acceptance. He found it in a group that embraced him as family, but they taught him hate, prejudice, and raised him to a level of leadership that almost destroyed him. But because of an unexpected ally, a conversation changed him from spreading hate to spreading hope.
I listen to country music and the blues and boogie woogies. Daryl and I hit it off, right off track.
He's speaking of Daryl Davis, who's played with music legends.
Muddy Waters, the father of the blues. The great Chuck Berry, the father and creator of rock and roll.
But for Scott Shepard, his music bridged their unlikely bond.
I grew up in a dysfunctional family. Had a very violent, alcoholic father. I didn't like myself. I didn't like anyone. I just had a lot of anger built up in me, and I was looking for a place to fit in and looking for a home and family. And back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, Klan was in our backyard.
After a DUI and weapon arrest in Tennessee, he went to a rehab confined with people he had hated.
When I went into the rehab, I didn't know that I was going to come out a different person. I went in, I was exposed to people of all different races, religions, sexual preference, just a gamut of all people. And they showed me the love and respect.
Scott's remorse overwhelmed him. He contacted Daryl, who's been instrumental in over 200 white supremacists renouncing their racism and walking away.
I was very excited to hear from him because he had a long history of being involved with the Ku Klux Klan and white supremacy. Scott did not come from a racist family. In fact, Scott was raised by a black woman.
Rebecca Scott Hawkins welcomed him back before she died at 104 in 2019.
When you reached out to Daryl, what were you seeking?
I was probably seeking acceptance because I was really in a bad spot. I even contemplated suicide. He actually saved my life. Because of Daryl Davis, I'm alive today, and I'm got my life on the right track, and I'm able to live my life with, happiness and love.
Scott reunited with his family. What is your relationship like now with Scott?
Scott's my brother. He is my brother, for sure. I support him 100%. He supports me 100%. And together we work towards showing other people, the right way.
When I turned those ropes over to him, it was just, I was done.
What is the one thing people can learn from Scott's journey?
That people can change.
Well, after Scott's children saw our story, he was overwhelmed with emotion when they told him it made them proud of him. He says his past life with white racist groups almost completely destroyed their relationship, but now they're closer than ever. Coming up, more stories to share of people who have had their lives impacted in a positive way by others. I'm Gwen Tolbart, and welcome back to the Because of You half-hour special. Here is another story to share. The late soul singer James Brown sang, "This is a man's world, but it would be nothing without a woman or a girl." In one sport, because of their strong belief in her, Jen Welter forever changed a man's world.
And I remember thinking stadiums were the biggest places on earth and the brightest lights. And I looked down on the field and I thought the guys looked like real life superheroes. So I wanted to be one.
And she would, but first honing her skills on the rugby field at college. A BA, master's, a PhD, a women's football league star.
I had just won my second gold medal with Team USA, and this opportunity came up, and it was something I had always said I wouldn't do.
But she did. 5'2", 130 pounds, the first female linebacker to an all-male indoor football league, the Texas Revolution.
Tell me about your first experience with playing with the men's team.
It went from them, kind of not being sure about it to being my greatest allies and protectors. And it was a point of pride for them that, yes, they were the team with the girl.
Impressed new head coach Wendell Davis asked her to coach.
And I said, no, girls don't coach football. I'm not doing that. I had never seen anybody in that role, so I had never imagined it myself.
And I begged and then I just turned around and said, you gonna take this job, Jen. They know, no, you're gonna take this job.
Jen became Revolution's new linebackers and special teams coach, first woman to coach in a men's professional football league.
What did you see in her that maybe she didn't see in herself?
I just seen her, she had the determination. She was a football player. You don't play football unless you got something in your heart. And then as a woman playing men football, that disproved it right there.
How did that make you feel, that belief that he had in you?
I know that I wouldn't have had the courage to do that without him.
And then a major first, the Arizona Cardinals.
I knew this was the type of person that I was looking for to start this, and very, very excited to have Coach Jen Welter join our staff as an intern throughout preseason.
Jen had become that real-life superhero, first female coach in the NFL, shattering the glass sideline.
Our players really embraced her. She had a great way of teaching. She has great passion and knowledge for the game.
Yeah, I didn't start playing football to be here. I didn't even dream that it was possible. And I think the beauty of this is that though it's a dream I never could have had, now it's a dream other girls can grow up and have.
Bruce will always be celebrated for opening that door. He took the risk, and he changed football for all women.
I gotta hear it. I gotta feel it.
Well, Jen's been busy with youth football camps and recently went to Rwanda, East Africa with Kids Play International, a nonprofit promoting gender equality through sport. Up now, the story of a local Virginia woman and her life-changing impact with foster care. Growing up as a child in the foster care system, Jessica Stern lived with trauma and isolation. She now uses that experience in a very unique way to give back to other foster kids.
When I was 10 years old, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer and died within 6 months. A week later, me and my 7 siblings were split up in 3 different foster homes across 3 different towns. And poverty was the driver of that.
Already parents, Sharon and Mike Lehman, fostered her and 2 sisters. Jessica felt traumatized and isolated.
The girls cried themselves to sleep at night for a number of months. So it was very difficult for them. We gave her love. It took her a while to accept that love. And I think she felt safe with us.
So tell me about those years being in that loving home.
The love and support that these people gave me, and the consistency that they gave me was critical. And it was hard to be in their home because they were strangers to me. But they were good people, and so I was able to heal.
At 11, her father moved her and 3 siblings to Florida. From age 13 into her 20s, she juggled school and 3 jobs to help them eat. Then,
when my father died, I was charged with removing life support. There was no one else around. I was 20 years old.
in 2017, she launched the nonprofit Connect Our Kids with scientist Dr. Jennifer Jacobs.
Just imagine what would happen if we use proactive software to build out a family tree for every foster child in America,
providing free intelligence software to help kids in foster care.
We offer for free to social workers nationwide so that they can find families for every child in foster care, and not only families, but a support team.
All these kids are being connected. We have connected 10,000 children in the foster care system.
She has so much love in her heart for these kids who, going through what she went through, she knows what that feels like. It's going to change foster care in this nation.
I love you. When I hug my son and know that I am helping child welfare professionals across this country give that same love and support that I give my own son to thousands of children, well, you can't put a price tag on that. It's powerful.
Jessica says after our story, several nonprofits contacted Connect Our Kids, and they're in talks with the state of Virginia. They presented at the National CASA Conference in Seattle and training 8 new programs. Up next, in the world of firefighting, there's often the ultimate sacrifice, but it can also lead to a way of giving back to others. Our final story after the break. We've been sharing our Because of You stories, sharing with you people whose lives have been impacted in a positive way by others. Up now, our final story about how a young fallen firefighter's legacy is making a difference for another young man following the same career path in fire service. At the age of 18, Maryland firefighter Kenny Hendrick lost his life in the line of duty. That tragic loss has made a life-changing impact for another young man, connecting them forever.
From the age of 3, he sat on a fire truck, put on a fireman's helmet, and that was it.
At 16, a real helmet. Kenny worked under his dad, who was chief at Morningside Volunteer Fire Department in Prince George's County, Maryland. January 12, 1992, his team responded to a house fire in Suitland.
His assignment was search and rescue. Him and his teammate went in. They found the little boy, brought him out.
Unaware she was safe, Kenny went back for the boy's sister. He never made it out. He was only 18. The rescued boy did not survive.
As a firefighter, he died loving what he wanted to do.
Scholarship fund.
David Levy, a former volunteer fireman, is chairman of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation Scholarship Committee. He funded a full tuition scholarship in Kenny's name.
I knew Kenny. I was one of the 1,000+ people to attend his funeral. I never forgot him. What I want is the people who are getting the scholarships, today, to get to that point 30 years later and associate their success with Kenny's name.
Congratulations.
Richard Mormon is the first recipient.
I'd always had an interest in becoming a firefighter growing up. My father's career got cut short, and so did Kenny's as well.
At age 16, Richard lost his father, a firefighter, when he died in the line of duty.
Something that I really wish to desire to do is dedicate my career to them and finish a career in which they unfortunately could not.
Richard following my husband's footsteps, I'm just so proud, extremely proud.
She's been there for me since day one. Because of the generosity of Dave Levy, I'm able to pursue my higher education.
I just get so proud to think that the memory of Kenny will live on.
It's a massive honor even being considered for something like this.
You met the young man who's going to be the recipient of the scholarship in your son's name.
And receiving the Kenneth M. Hedrick Scholarship Program, he basically told us, he said, "I'll make you proud."
Kenny exemplified bravery and dedication to his work, and I want to be able to exemplify that myself.
Well, since our story, Richard's in summer school at San Diego State University for a BA in Business Management. He has an associate's degree in fire technology and plans to pursue a master's in Homeland Security on his path to fire service and helping FEMA. That's a wrap for this hour special, but not an end to my mission to share stories of lives changed. If you have a life-changing story because of someone else you'd like to share, contact me at GwenTolbart@Fox.com. And be sure to catch up on all you missed on Fox5DC.com. Thank you for watching.